Cool. So we are live with the Node Foundation Release Working Group meeting on the 5th of December 2019. And we'll be working through the agenda in issue 509. And it's worth asking, are there any announcements or anything anyone wants to call out before we get started? No. So the first item on the agenda is for the Collaborators Summit and what we should use the time to discuss there. How many of us can make it? I know, Michael, I don't think you can make it this time.
I'm sadly not going to be there.
Are you not making it either, Ruben?
No.
Oh, okay. So that'd just be myself, Miles, maybe Shelley, and a few others. Okay. I think we might make the call to maybe not do it there if we can't get too many of us together. Or maybe, do you have free time during, would you be able to join a meeting if we could coordinate that while we were there? Or
I would be able to join a meeting. Okay. The question is just how easy it is also for you to set it up there.
Yeah, I don't know how much flexibility we'll have on time there. Okay.
Yeah, I could join too. It just depends when it happens.
Okay. Sure. Okay, we'll consider that a bit more at the time. I think the focus might be trying to onboard new releases and coming up with a plan of how we identify candidates for being new releases or adding some more mentorship for new releases. So that's probably okay for that issue. Current should include 12.13. Don't know if anyone's seen this issue.
So I put it on the release agenda to get a solution for it, pretty much. So we sometimes might have a short time period where 2 releases are current.
Yes.
And that's what he complains about.
Yeah, because I think was it this time we had no current release for one of the days because we promoted 12 to LTS on the Monday and we released 13 on a Tuesday. So is that preferable to having 12 and 13 be current on the same day? I'm not sure which way is better.
Aren't they even both current?
What, 12 and 13?
Yeah.
So 12 turned to LTS
right.
the day before 13 came out.
Yeah, of course. Sorry. I got confused. Yeah.
That wouldn't be the case for when 14 comes out, because 13 will never turn LTS. So 13 would be kind of in a current phase.
Yeah, it only happens if we release the switch to LTS before the new current.
So I'll be very frank. I have no strong opinion about it, and I think it's fine whatever we do.
Yeah.
Yes, me too. And I don't feel strongly enough about it to invest time in it.
Yeah, I feel like what's ever easiest to coordinate the release around that time, because the major release is based off of the delta between the previous release and master. It's quite difficult if you play with the timings.
Yeah. So the only question is, what do we officially say? Like, is this something that might happen again, or is it something that we want to fix?
I guess we can look at our schedule. Oh, we've not given specific dates.
So does it also happen if we swap the releases? So if we release the 15 before 14 is LTS?
If we release, that would be okay. We'd just have 2 current release lines. And I think there was actually an issue raised on that. That someone complained when it was that way round as well. How was it? I remember seeing it. It was duplicate current release. I think it caused problems for people making tools that would detect the current, and when there was 2 currents, it caused them issues. It's in one of my PRs.
Yeah, I guess most people would like it to be exactly on the same day, but it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, and even if it's on the same day, there could be 1 or 2 hours of difference, and in that time frame, people will open issues.
Yeah.
Okay, it was an issue.
I don't know what we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Current maintenance and current, yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure what our answer to Jordan would be though. So I'm not sure.
Did Jordan propose a fix? Some way to fix that?
Take a look.
Not that I'm aware of.
I guess maybe that's our next step. Like, when 14 goes into LTS and 15 is not yet released.
Okay, I understand. So the problem was that when I released 12.13.0, it was on the website, at least it was advertised as LTS.
And current.
And at the same time, the current was not this version, it was the previous version. It was 12.12.
Oh, because it's a switch, isn't it? Yeah.
So maybe he's just asking us to have the same version number on both sides during the time frame.
I think Miles put a fix into the website for that. Yeah, I've opened a PR to fix the landing page for days like today. So with this PR, current will not show if it's less than the latest LTS.
Okay, then there's only one link, and that wasn't enough? Or why is the issue still open?
No, he was not happy with that.
This applies to...
I believe the main reason is he also maintains NVM.
Yeah.
And you are able to install a current or latest, as far as I know. And I'm not 100% sure because I normally just use numbers. But I believe that's something that is supported. So,
okay, so
during that time, it's ambiguous.
He's using the CSV for that, not the website page. So I don't know how NVM works to determine if a release is current or LTS.
Okay, so Ruben's saying that we should go for the way where we have, not Ruben, sorry, got names mixed up. Jordan has said that he would prefer current to be released before LTS, but that's not an ideal solution. That means we'd have 2 currents at the same time, which does happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not, do you have any thoughts either way? So the major release, we've tried to keep to a pattern of releasing it on the 3rd Tuesday of April and October. We could say that the even number of releases promote on the 4th Tuesday, so it's the week later. But that would mean we have 2 current releases.
So for me, our release process is so much work and it's a huge burden that it's sometimes difficult to coordinate everything properly.
Yeah,
And
especially if you've got different people doing the different
yes.
release line. You
Yes.
can't easily say it must be on this date.
Therefore, I would rather not guarantee anything around this and just keep it as it is and say it's a known issue. But until we have more automation in place, this won't happen.
Okay, I think that's a fair response. We can say our release schedules based on availability and what happens at the time. We've PR'd the website so that it won't show the issue where you saw 12.13 as LTS and 12.12 X as current, so that's not a problem anymore. And around terminology, I do think we need a better somewhere in the README that really clarifies what active means, maintenance means, like a good table with the clear definitions. I think that's on our list to do anyway. So I can write up a response to that.
Cool.
If that makes sense to everyone. Cool.
Richard, do you have something to say about this?
No, not really. I mean, I don't know how NVM detects current, because as far as I can remember, we only label LTS in the index.json and tab files, if that's what NVM is scraping. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes. So
Yeah.
maybe NVM just takes the most recent non-LTS as the current, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, because I mean the LTS was just a flag, isn't it? In the index, it's just a true or false, or set or not set flag. So I don't know. I mean, if NVM is just detecting the latest non-LTS or something, I don't. Maybe we need to sort of go back and work out what, or throw it back to Jordan and say what is the exact, the tangible actual problem. If it's just confusion because they might, someone's downloading the wrong thing from the website, well, I think we fixed that. But if it's actually the tooling is broken, then we might, probably need a better understanding of what the tooling is doing to come up with a workable plan. But I mean, I'm pretty much in agreement with the rest of you that unless there's some real concrete, demonstration that this is the actual problem, it's broken NVM because of this, then I'm inclined to not make any promises.
Yeah, so I guess we could say on the basis that we've fixed the website, so it won't show current and LTS as the same release line.
Because I'm guessing the only other thing you could do was to stage the releases and then try and push them all out promote them at the same time.
Yeah, that seems
which is kind of
like
sitting on your hands. Yeah.
That's more likely to introduce other problems, I think, from just us thinking about multiple things at once. So, okay.
Maybe we should ask in the issue how NVM works and
does this cause
see if we can propose a better solution.
Yeah. Okay. Next one was, should the BV upgrades be Semver minor? I think this has been on the release agenda before.
I think we've got an agreement, but it's just, I think Miles or someone wanted it documented, but I thought the agreement was that we weren't going to treat it any different to any other dependency. That followed Semver.
What is our opinion in general? I mean, out of my perspective, it should normally not be the release team's point to discuss this, but more like the core in general.
I think the question was that if there was a libuv release and then we were determining when to backport that into LTS, would that go into, would libuv releases be held off for Semver minor LTS versions? And I think the general consensus was it depended on the Semverness of libuv. If it was just a patch release, we could just put it into a normal patch LTS release.
Yeah,
but it just depends on if we put it in a Semver minor or Semver patch release of current before, right?
Yes. So I think the consensus was that there would be no special treatment for libuv. We would treat it as any other thing that went into Node. That the Semberness would, because libuv follows Semver, then the Semberness in Node would more or less follow that. I mean, I guess there are situations where it might not, but I mean, those would be quite rare.
And why would we need to follow libuv's Semberness? Because we expose it directly, or?
I guess add-ons could compile against it. But
okay,
yeah, I mean, generally when a Semver minor happens in libuv, it's normally because something in Node then starts using the feature, and the question then is, what is that feature? Is it just we've changed something existing to use the new thing, or have we introduced something new into Node? So
okay.
I think the main thing is that I personally don't think there's anything special about libuv that we would say, they're always Semver minor. It's kind of, it depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be confusing if we made it minor, even if it was a patch release elsewhere.
I think whatever we decide for libuv should be, we should decide the same for npm or I don't know, other dependencies.
Yeah, pretty much. I wouldn't want to special case libuv. It's more or less a kind of treat it as we treat any other change going into a release. It's what was that? What was that labeled when it went into master? Was it major or minor there? Obviously not majors in current and LTS, but was it minor or patch on master? And it's that would broadly be what it would be when it gets backported into the release lines.
I guess if we are aiming to have some kind of table that describes what active LTS maintenance, etc. is, we could include the definitions in there. So you would say that like upgrades to dependencies would be part of active LTS or maintenance, and we would just use the Semver defined by the dependency itself. It does mean that maintenance releases and maintenance could get patch upgrades, but probably wouldn't get minor upgrades. But I don't think that's any different to what we do today anyway.
I think in practice, libuv updates on the release lines are quite infrequent, in that sometimes we bump it by quite a few releases.
Yeah. Okay. Where would we document this? There's no documents at the moment. I think
there isn't really anywhere I could think of that makes sense.
Oh,
I don't think
unless Miles just means we just write in the issue what we were going to do.
Okay, and just get people to thumbs up. Yeah, that's easily. Okay. I'll add that note. Document. Yep, that solves that one. And defining word for all current releases. I think this was waiting on
Michael.
Yeah, but I think he closed the package maintenance one, saying he didn't find any information that needed to be updated. But I still think we should have like a nice clear table explaining all the words we use. Because I know we've had quite a few issues opened in the past year asking, like, what does active LTS mean? What does maintenance mean, etc. So if we just make a table of definitions on the README, I think that would make sense. And I don't know whether that would make sense to be over in Node core or over in the release repo. Or both. But storing things in both places is awkward.
I think there was a PR in core for a general glossary, but I think that's stalled, or I can't remember it landing.
Yeah.
And I guess the question for that is, how visible is that? Is it only going to be visible to collaborators, or do we want do we want it up front in the README, or I don't know. It's kind of how visible do we want the definition of the words?
Doesn't the website pull from the release repo README? So maybe it should be in there.
Possibly,
so that information's on the website.
The website does pull stuff from the release repo, yeah.
Yeah. I think it would be good to have that on the website. So maybe in the release repo is the best place to have it for now. So in the README, so that it gets propagated to the website. Okay. Do you all think it's a good idea to have this table? It's something I could probably take a look at between now and the end of the year when I get time to sit down and write the definitions and put a PR in.
Yeah, go for a PR. We can all chime in on that.
Chime in? Okay. What's the last item? And the last item on the agenda is from Build. It's methods for sharing the release keys. So they're looking at some methods of how we can store our keys and share them. I think there was 3 options suggested.
Yes, I think I summarized.
Yeah, thanks, Richard. So adding them to the core repository, adding them to the Node release repo, or creating a separate Node.js keys repo under the Node.js organization where all of our keys can live and people can check them against that. And yeah, the TSE just asked us to discuss it and come back saying, hey, this sounds good or not.
Well, I'm in favor of a dedicated repo.
Yeah, I would be too.
I'm good with anything.
Okay, so yeah, should I post back saying in the release meeting we discussed this and we're +1 on the Canterbury Node.js keys?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Method. Okay. I'll add a note to that.
Yeah, because I think the concern about putting it into an existing repo was keeping track of who can actually change and edit it. And
right.
in a separate repo, then you've got the exact, you can finely tune the access to that, so that it's only perhaps like the releases that would be able to change their own, change the keys.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we've got answers for that one. I'll quickly open the issues for each of the release lines. So,
There's just one thing. Since it would be a separate repository, we should probably link to it from the release repository.
Yes.
Yes, and probably from the README of Node.js node.
Can you repeat it, Michael?
I said also from the README of Node.js node.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you think, in Node.js nodes README at the moment, they've listed a few of our keys, would they still live there as well?
I think the point was that it lists, I think the Node.js README points at a key server, and the issue was that key server is thought to be unsafe, or it's already been compromised, or untrusted, basically, and it was kind of replacing that key server that's currently referenced in the README with something else.
Right. Okay.
So I yes, with a new repository, we would then also need to update the documentation that points at the, is it the SKS key server or whatever?
Oh, how you verify the keys? Yeah.
Yes, and pointed out this other repo that we, the one that we transfer in or create.
Okay.
And it's basically, the keys are listed in the README, and then this is how you verify that these keys are, I guess what they say they are.
Okay. Sure, that makes sense. In terms of releases, what have we got?
There was a release this week by Ruben.
Was that 13.2 or 13.3?
That was
13.3.
Okay, awesome. Next one's due 17th, and then we've got a couple of weeks break until January once. Okay. Active LTS. So we've got a 12 release planned for next Tuesday, but getting released the following week. And Node 10, I have opened a PR for this one, but the date might slip slightly. There's currently only like 15 commits in this release proposal, because all I've done so far is go through everything that was tagged LTS watch or the open backport PRs that are not sent for minor, because this is a patch release. So I'm kind of hoping to get some feedback on the PR itself, and hopefully people will start tagging some more things LTS watch or suggesting a few more things that should land. I could go through and land a load of test updates and doc updates, but I'm not sure what that would actually gain us, to be honest. There's no way of running, I suspect there's probably about 2,000 at least commits that we haven't audited for 10. So we've kind of swapped to the let us know which land and mark it as LTS watch kind of method. So yeah, if anyone has any ideas of things that should land, like bug fixes, etc., let me know.
There's so many things, it's difficult.
Yeah. What I'm trying to do is just go through stuff tagged LTS watch, but I'm also gonna go through the issues and look at anything that references Node 10 to see if there are any bug fixes that are waiting to land on Node 10 as well. So, but yeah, feel free to just push stuff to 10.x staging if it lands, and I'll rebase this. And if we add a lot more commits, then I'll probably push the release date out by a week. But we shouldn't. We're not having that many more 10 releases. I think there's only 3 more while it's in active LTS, and then it goes to maintenance in April, I believe. So, okay. One other thing I remember from this week, Ruben, did you have any issues with the SHA sums when doing your release?
So it's not the creation of them is fine, but it's not added to the release post.
Oh, right.
So, as far as I can tell, it's broken from the script that we are using from the Node.js.org repository.
Did it also happen 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
It's the issue Miles raised on the page on the build repo that
I've just clicked off.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, because Miles had to regenerate the keys.
Right.
That's well, I cannot tell if that was really the issue or not, but as far as I'm concerned, like I checked mine and they were definitely available. He added the GPG one as well. That's only in his release. So that's a manual created one. I don't know of the automatic ones.
Okay.
Is it possible that something's changed over in the website repo that's caused it to break? I can't remember what the script's called. Create.
Release post. It's in scripts release post.
There we go.
But the last change is 4 months ago.
Yeah.
What's sure is that the release I made, I don't remember when, maybe 1 month ago, didn't have this problem.
And at least for me, I did not have any problems or like there was no notification from the regular script. I only saw it when looking at the release post itself that the key was not in there. But
yeah, we should probably fix the script to make it fail if there are there's no content.
Yeah.
I remember once that the files were not readable There was a permission issue with Nginx.
Okay.
And I had the same issue then. The release post didn't include it.
Yeah, I was just trying to go back a couple to see whether the last release I did.
Are we sure that there's no permission issue this time?
It's possible because I know over in Build a lot of things have been re-provisioned or updated recently. I think who's got the next release? It'd probably be me. Maybe I should keep an eye out when I try to promote my release.
Maybe there's actually a way to just rerun the release post script.
Oh yeah, true.
I guess, yeah, you can remove the release post from the repo and rerun the
Run
script.
it again. Yeah, we should
see what happens, and we can debug that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Sure. Is there anything else anyone wants to mention today?
Have you had an opportunity to speak to Sam about didn't he raise something to go into Node 8? But we've got no Node 8 releases planned, right?
Correct, yes.
I can't remember what it was. Was it the HTTP parser update?
It was something around HTTP parser, yeah.
Yeah. Because I think there was also some concerns that the newer HTTP parser was more strict.
Yeah.
No way of opting out. And to me, that kind of suggests then that we probably wouldn't want to put that in 8 if it's going to be the last release.
Yeah, I feel like
it's a new problem that we're not going to be able to fix.
4 weeks before the end of life. Changing this, I don't think we should do. Does anyone else have any thoughts? No.
No, I think it's probably too late to do a new release.
I doubt we would even have the time to prepare the release. I think I saw somewhere that some of the Node 8 machines, the machines we use to build Node 8 may not even be turned on at this point. I think I read that somewhere.
I think there's also been changing some of the Windows config. So I saw there was a commit in Landing 8 for updating the Windows build things, which sounds very worrying if we ever needed to build it again.
I wasn't sure if that was due to the issue that we saw with CI when trying to on V10 like staging.
I think he's trying to add Visual Studio 2019 and then taking the opportunity to make other changes.
Right. Okay.
To the job config. But because the job config is shared between all the releases, that's the issue that we had for where I changed something and it tripped up the 10 release because something wasn't backported into the 10 line.
Yeah.
At least in this case, he has backported all the changes, but I don't know, how confident we are that any build changes to 8 has been tested enough that, were we to do an 8 release that we don't really want to do, whether we'd then have to fight through any build issues.
Yeah, I think we would. And to be honest, if we hit any build issues, even next week, people aren't going to be available much.
Right. Wrong end of the year to have a.
Yeah. So, I feel like we don't do this.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else anyone wants to mention today? I'll add some links to these into the minutes and try and get PR open to those. No. Okay. Thanks for joining, everyone. I'll speak to you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.